Today we're taking a look at a really beautiful Wycliffe Brothers 21-inch backgammon board. So I'm really excited to talk to you about this. A huge shout out to Gammon Village, who has teamed up with my channel. They've sent me this board for review. I'm not being paid anything for this video, and they're not having any control over what I say or any creative direction. I get to say what I want, pros and cons about this board. And it's going to be tough to come up with the cons because I've owned Wycliffe Brothers before that I bought with my own money, and I've been really happy with them. And so this is no exception, and I just can't wait to tell you more about it. This is a company, an in-house company of Gammon Village, one of the biggest or the biggest retailer of backgammon boards here in the US. They have a lot of different brands. This is one of their mid to upper tier brands. They have boards of a few different sizes, but their bread and butter are their tournament size boards, 21 inches long with 1 3/4 inch checkers. They have a ton of different color variations and case materials. And so these are pretty ubiquitous. If you've gone to a tournament or a meetup or anything before, you've probably seen a Wycliffe Brothers before. Now this one in particular comes in the brown Croco finish, which Gammon Village sent to me. I didn't get to pick this, and honestly I don't know if I would have ever picked it for myself, but now that I have it, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's very shiny, very slick material. Like, you don't, like, not slick in the sense that it slides, but slick in the sense that it looks not like wet almost. Like, it's so bright and vibrant. It looks really, really cool. The pattern is great. And like my other Wycliffe Brothers boards, the finish is fantastic. The stitching is completely uniform. There are no cut corners, there's no bubbles, there's no rough edges. Everything on it looks great. It's got the nice chrome corners to protect it from wear as you're taking it around. You've got the handle that's very robust and finished in the same material as the board. And having taken my other Wycliffe board all over the place, I've never had an issue with a handle breaking or a case coming open. The clasps are also very high quality. They exceed the quality of clasps boards that I've paid much more for. They have a really satisfying clunk open. The spring mechanism is nice. They lock solidly, and they keep the board safe in transit. Okay, now before I put the camera overhead and do some measurements, before I do an overview look at all the components, let's do some measurements. So lengthwise, I already mentioned, coming in pretty much right at 21 inches long, tournament size by all means. And widthwise, you're looking at just under 14.5, not counting the handle and the clasp. So you're gonna be 28, 29 inches when this is open. 30 inches if we include the other components, which is definitely a substantial board. You can take this on the road to tournaments, but I would not classify this as a travel board. This is a proper tournament-sized board, and it has some heft to it. Almost more heft than my Prestige class, which is interesting because it's a bigger board. Like, this just feels hefty, okay? Let's throw the camera overhead, take a look at the inside, the playfield, cups, dice, doubling cube, checkers, all that stuff. Now that we've zoomed in like usual, hopefully you can see that beautiful brown Croco finish. Again, not something I would have ordered off the bat, but this is why you can't judge a book by its cover. It looks fantastic. We'll crack this open, pull those clasps up, and here you've got the inside of the board. Now, as I mentioned in my Middleton Games review that I did earlier last week, if you haven't seen that, go check it out for a good budget board recommendation. Everything comes wrapped in tissue paper or plastic and completely protected on the inside. I took everything out because I've been playing on this board with my wife for a little while. I always do a nice bit of testing before I do a review. And so that's why you're seeing it as you would have it from game to game. Now they include Wycliffe Brothers manual as well as the rules of backgammon, all that stuff in here. So if you don't know how to play, a little bit of strategy, it's all right here, written by Phil Simborg, which is great. Now we'll start with the cups because they're just right here, and I'll pull these dice out for a second. The cups, very hefty. Again, heftier than my Prestige class Wycliffe Brothers, which is interesting. Very solid, like no collapsibility in the walls of that. I love the tall cylinder shape for a dice cup. It's one of my favorites. Finished with the same playfield material here on the inside, and the outside is the same as the case exterior and does have a really nice trip lip on it. And these are just awesome cups all around. So a few shakes. They are louder than some dice cups, but the roll is just so smooth. I absolutely love them. Oh, love that. You can hear the sound there. One more time. Beautiful. So dice-wise, pretty standard dice. We've got a white and a brown, but the dice do have rounded corners, which I like. The pips are all filled in, no divots, no paint, scuffs, or anything like that. So good quality dice, just not precision. So I like these. I sometimes wish that companies would do like marbled dice to match the checkers instead of just a plain, but I'm sure that's an additional cost. So, but I'd pay more for it. The playfield itself, it's worth mentioning. This is Gammon Villages or Wycliffe Brothers V-fiber material, very soft, slick material that you can slide your checkers across, a little bit of padding to it. The printing quality is so sharp and everything's equal and symmetrical. We've got just shades of brown and white here, so it's pretty high contrast if you're someone who struggles with seeing shades of colors apart. I mentioned that in my last video, and it's worth mentioning because I'm colorblind, and while I don't struggle with most of my boards, I could definitely see how it could be a problem. The doubling cube is the Wycliffe Brothers big chunky boy that they are known for. This is just a heavy, thick chunk of resin or plastic or whatever it is. I love it. You can just double with authority, as they say. It is an awesome doubling cube, and I think everyone should own one of these at some point, and it fits perfectly here in its little storage area on the side. Now, these Wycliffe Brothers, everyone talks about checkers from different brands. You got your Backgammon Galaxy boards and your FM Gammon, but I think that the Wycliffe Brothers checkers are sleepers. They have an awesome sound. The finish is just perfect. There are no seams or creases or differences in finish between the top and the bottom of their checkers. They're completely uniform throughout. I really think that apart from my Chrysaloid checkers, you know, which are handmade in their factory, these are probably my favorite. That's how much I like them. So the white or ivory has a really nice marbled design. You can kind of see through the clear section in the middle, which is really nice. And then the brown marbled with white is also just absolutely gorgeous. You'll see some close-up shots in the intro, I think. So they just are great. I love finger disc checkers, and on that V-fiber material, you can see they slide perfectly, and this is definitely a premium, luxurious experience on this board. So let's just do fit of the checkers. So putting these side to side, 6 across, 2, maybe 3 millimeters of play, which is exactly what I like. These are going to slot into their spots perfectly, and they're going to line up, and you're not going to have any issues knowing which point that you're on. Now, going across with these, so 21 inches, let's see, we're going to get, just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, pretty much 11. Like, it bumps out a little bit, but I don't think it would be that much of an issue. It looks awesome, and you've got plenty of space there. So let's set up a game here. We'll do a few rolls. You can all judge my play. Although I have been working on it. I feel like I'm getting better, but there's just so much to learn. Backgammon is one of those easy to learn, lifetime to master games. That's what I love about it. All right, get her. I always steal, I've said this in other videos, I've always steal the colored checkers from my wife instead of the whites or the light colors. They're so much more fun to play for me. So let's get a roll for white here. Oh, let's do that again. We toss one of those out. There we go. 3, and what are we gonna get for brown here? 4. Okay, 3, 4. So we could bring 2 builders down, or you bring the 3 down and hope to make the 20 your opponent's side. I'm always torn between those two. I'm gonna go for the 1 back and 1 forward play. All right, let's give white a roll here. 4 and 1. We could hit twice, but leave 2 blots in our home, so probably not the best. Let's bring down 4. Wow, because that puts us in a direct hit. 4 and 1. Definitely need help with that move, guys. Chime in with the correct play here. 2 and 3. Okay, so we could probably 1, 2, no. Thought we were gonna have 2 hits there, but I'm struggling with this one more this time. Let's bring down to 3 and protect this, and maybe slot this guy up. I'm not feeling like confident about any of these like I normally do. Double 5s. So probably 2 and then 2 and hit brown over here. Yeah, that feels right. Now, these are finger dished. I don't think that's too cocked that you can't play it. I think we're good there. So we're going to play the double 4s. So 4. And we'll maybe hit here, make a new point. And then 1 more 4. Probably just another builder here. All right, 1 more roll for white, and then we'll be done. I just want to keep playing and not film. All right, 5, and then with the 6. We're going to hold that and probably come down here. Or is that too risky? Do we just play the safe play? No, that's burying too deep. We gotta play this. Tell me if that's right, guys. All right, so overall thoughts before we cut to the outro. I knew going into this that this would be an exceptional board. I love Wycliffe Brothers boards. Like I said, I've bought my own, even though this one was sent to me. They're just, I think, the best value and the most accessible, most like variety-packed option you can get for the price. Giving this a fair shake and talking about pros and cons, the only con that I have with this board and that I have with all Wycliffe Brothers boards is the fact that the cups don't have a home. They just live right here on the playfield, which I think is just poor design for a board that's this expensive. Everything about this is perfect. If we could just switch these to like 5x5 trays or something and make a slot for the cups, they might have to make these cups a little more squat and round. I don't know. This is like their aesthetic, which I get, but it would just be so nice for these to have a home, a bag, a holder, I don't know, something so that they're not just flopping around in the board when you move it. Other than that, though, I cannot think of any gripes with this board. The finish is great. The checkers are some of the best values in the market right now. The dice are well done, even if they're not precision. The playfield is beautiful. The printing is sharp. The doubling cube is chonky and fun to play with. And overall, I just love the Wycliffe Brothers tournament board. So there you have it. That is the 21-inch Wycliffe Brothers backgammon board in the brown Croco design. It's a blast to play on, and it's surprisingly attractive compared to my normal taste in backgammon boards. And this is staying in the rotation. It's going out at all of our backgammon nights going forward, and there's no way I'm getting rid of this thing. I just love the checkers too much, and I love the playfield. And, you know, I've already gone on and on about it.